This video is presented by Canadian Gundam. $10 flat shipping costs from coast to Canadian coast. Please visit their website at canadiangundam.com.
Hey guys, Mark from Gunpla Network here, and today I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on how to clean your airbrush out after you've finished. And as you can see in there, I've just finished priming some pieces, so you can see the whiteness in there. I was using a white primer, Mr. Surfacer 1000. So now I'm going to clean this up. I'm done with my airbrushing for the day. So yeah, all we're going to do is grab, I've got some thinner, just lacquer thinner I use to clean with. There is airbrush cleaner as well that you can get, but I was told just general purpose lacquer thinners, which I buy for $1 because it's cheaper. Yeah, use that. So all we're going to do is take it, do a little squirt in there, maybe half fill the cup, and this is all millimeters stuff we're talking about. You've got a cleaning brush that generally comes with your airbrush, so I'm just going to give it a good swirl around in there. Brush, brush, brush. And you can see basically it'll be a milky white, or it'll be whatever colour you've sprayed. But I've got a jar of just stuff, excess paint, whatnot, goes in there when I'm done with my airbrushing for the day. Sorry, just trying to get the camera angle right. So just pour that in there. Okay, so now what we'll do is we will again grab some thinner back in, and you probably want to do this 2-3 times, like get right around the edges. Oops, spilled a bit there too, which I'll just wipe off with my cloth. Brush, brush, brush. Some people really hate cleaning. I don't actually mind the cleanup. It's not too bad, and it'll start to look a bit. I don't know if you can see that. It'll start to look a bit clearer after a few goes. Cool. Just get in there as well because I've got some down the side. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So, all right. So what I'm going to do at this stage, put the brush down. I'm going to put some more in there now. What I should say is, as we're doing this, I'm obviously using lacquer, either cleaner or thinner, just to clean, because I've been spraying with lacquer paints. If you've been spraying with acrylics, then obviously there'll be a certain cleaner for that. Spraying with enamels, I haven't done before, but obviously there'd be enamel thinner or an equivalent cleaner for that type stuff. One of the guys here, Harry, said that you can use in America Lysol as a cleaner for when he sprays acrylics. He uses that to clean with when he's done. I haven't done that, but like I said, my experience is based on lacquer. But whatever cleaning solution and paint type you've been doing. Now, if you are using anything other than acrylic based, even then, you probably should wear one of these, a filtered mask, because obviously it's quite harmful, the stuff that you're breathing in here. So what I'm going to do is just switch on my airbrush, and this is where you'll need the cloth. Hopefully you can still hear me. We're going to take the cloth. You simply put your finger over the end, create a seal, push down to release the air, and then pull back, and you can see it bubbling. Creates a back pressure. Now what we're doing there is we're cleaning more of the paint out. That'll be all milky white again. Yep. So really what we're aiming to do is to get this to a clear, so let's put a few more drops in. Whoop, we lost the camera. There we go. Let's have another crack. And it's still a bit milky white. Maybe, so it's probably 2 or 3 goes of brushing and about 2 or 3 goes of this before you start to see a bit of a clearer liquid. Basically that's what you're aiming for, to get it back to a sort of clear in the cup as you go. And yeah, that's looking much clearer now. So we'll pour that out. Turn the airbrush off. So, or the compressor, I should say. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to take everything apart. So all I do is just unscrew that, and just in case anyone's wondering if you don't have one, this part here on the end of my airbrush hose is another moisture trap. I picked it off eBay for about $4 or something delivered, I think, from China. Out here in Australia, we end up with a lot of like overly hot days sometimes. I mean, it's winter now, so I had a heater in here while I was actually spraying because it's ice cold. But having this on the end, as well as, let me just guide you down here, down to the end of my hose. So you can see I have another moisture trap there on the end of my, that's a Sparmax AC100 compressor. And then I have one here as well. And just to make sure I'm not getting any water through the hose and spraying out through the paint, creating bubbles and nasty effects that I didn't want when I'm trying to spray a nice smooth job. So we'll just put that down. Now, most airbrushes, this is a Sparmax SP35 dual action gravity fed cup on top. Most will pull apart the same way, in which the back will unscrew like that and just come apart. Put that down there. The needle, there's a little knob here at the end. We can undo that a bit. Ta-da! And that's your airbrush needle. Be really cautious, guys. When you remove this, at the very end here, there's a very fine point tip. And if you bend that, basically you're screwed. You'll have to buy a new needle or work out how to straighten it. I've done it once before. Straightening is not fun. But I don't know if you'll be able to see... there are dots of colour there, so bits of paint caught up on the needle. So we'll put that down. And then at the end of the airbrush there, for me, there are two caps. One and two. Okay, so I've got an end cap, I've got a needle, and I've got two caps, and there's the airbrush itself. Now I'm not going to dismantle any further, because anything other than that you're probably looking at doing a deep sort of clean. Now what I use for cleaning when I'm doing it is just cotton buds. You can pick these up for, I don't know, $1 a pack in supermarkets for like 200, or cheap shops, I guess, like Reject Shop or the dollar stores. That's what I use for when I'm cleaning in these parts here. I also have a little paint mixer tray. I just put a drop. Oh, there's a little bit more, but that's right, we'll use it. Now, once I've done that, get some on the end of your cotton bud, and we're going to clean the airbrush. I just give it a wipe down liberally all over, clean off all the marks. I do a little, you know, get down into the cup. Okay, make sure you look at the end and see if you can just, you know, wipe around the end there. And because this is white, obviously may not pick up, but I do have a couple of black spots I've picked up probably from a previous German grey spraying effort. So it's always, you know, clean this well and good. Okay, so we'll zoom back out. Alright, I'll just go over the edge of this as well, and then I'll use my little, get yourself a set of these cloths and just wiping all around the body and inside the cup. Make sure that's clean. You've got no dust when you're doing this, guys, because the last thing you want is to get dust everywhere on your cleaning efforts. So I'm done with the airbrush itself. I'll put that down. So in these little end caps, all I'm going to do is put the cotton bud in the end, just scrape it all around, either side, make sure there's no paint. Now on this one, I'm just going to get all the paint off, because that's where the needle comes through. Off the tip and then off the inside. Very good. Okay, now for the needle itself. I'll zoom out again. Alright. So, what I do is make sure I just got some thinner on the end there, and I kind of just wipe up and down gently Make sure to get all of the dirty parts that you can see there off. And keep cleaning. And more towards the tip is where you'll find most of your paint effort, and that cotton bud is now quite black from just paint thinner. Okay. Alright, so now she's nice and looking clean there. If there's anything stuck on, you can always grab a tissue, a cotton wipe, something like that. I'm actually going to go back over this one with a fresh cotton bud, guys, so just give me a sec because I've noticed a dirty spot where something is stuck. So a little thinner on there. And I think I've just about got it. And like I said, just be very careful when handling this because in the end you've invested in, I spent about, probably on the setup with the compressor and the airbrush itself, $170 Australian. So just at the end you're just kind of like letting it glide over the end and keeping the tip nice and straight of the needle. Okay, so we'll just wipe that off. Okay, don't want any excess thinner on there. Now when we're done we just need to reassemble in the reverse order, so I'm just going to put that first cap that we had, the bigger one, back on the end. That one back over there. Make sure you do them up tight because some airbrushes actually have seals. Mine doesn't have seals in the end here. Alright, now I won't do it this time because I did it last time, but on the needle there's the end, here's the tip. Just back about here, what you want to do is grab some Vaseline or petroleum jelly, just a tiny, like a smear on your fingertips, and basically just go like that, and just rub some here, maybe every third or fourth, clean out, something like that, and just rub it just around the middle there. And why we're doing that is because internally in the airbrush itself there's actually a seal which prevents blowback when you're spraying. Now that seal can dry out and that can cause dry tip issues, I think they call it, or basically when I experienced it just recently it was a spluttering of the paint, it was going through. So what we're going to do now is basically you just need to drop it in there. We kind of let it, shake it around a bit, just let it guide itself down, and then gently push through. Never force the needle in. Okay, then we're just going to do that back up. We can see that, yep, the needle is moving. Okay, we'll put the cap back on. Okay, and that's pretty much mostly done. We've just got one little task left to do, so we'll reattach it to our airbrush hose. Okie dokie. Alright, so guys, what we're going to do now is I like to give it just one more little rinse with the thinner. Compressor back on. Okay, there was a bit of white there, so I'm just going to go again. Now this is only really if you know, for me, the way I was taught, and like I said, most people are different. This was just if I'm finished for the day. Now what we're going to do though is take, if you get these little medical droppers, you can find them on eBay for like, I don't know, $100, sorry, 100 pack for $1 something, $2, $3, something like that. Ingenious for when you want to, like this colour leveling thinner here, I use it in there because other than pouring the bottle and spilling it everywhere, it's the easiest way to get in and get access to the fluid in droplet amounts. You could use them for paint, but I find pouring the paint is easier. Droplets out of the cup, that's just, the thinner's a lot thinner obviously. So what we're going to do is just take some water, we're going to put a few drops, maybe half fill the container in the end there. Okay, and the reason that we do this, guys, is because the cleaning solution and thinner, you don't particularly want to be blowing that through your airbrush. You wear all the seals and just, shorten the lifespan of it. So water is obviously a lot less harsher, and if you're using acrylics, it's probably not a problem. It's only enamel and lacquer, I'd say. Okay, so probably the last one now. It's usually 2 to 3 goes of each liquid when you're doing this cleaning. And that looks lovely and clean there. Okay, so now we're done. All I'm going to do is take my cloth and I'm going to push down, blow the air through, and then I'm blowing the water out to make sure I've got rid of absolutely everything. There's no more water coming out, and we're done. Okay guys, and that's it for cleaning your airbrush. Now that seemed to have taken a long time. I'm looking at about 15 minutes there, but in actual fact I can do that at the end of every time I'm finished painting in, I guess, 10 or 15 minutes. So, oh sorry, not 10 or 15 minutes, about 2 to 3 minutes most times, and it's just practice. So thank you very much for this. Hopefully my first tutorial wasn't too bad. I've got my Gundam Wing review coming soonish. I just finished for the HG kit, and I'm also going to do another one on panel lining soon. So thank you. Bye.